Continue. All right. Does everyone see something that says we're recording?
Yes.
Right on. Okay, so this procedure here, I'm going to walk you through how to bring the AutoCAD blocks that I have provided on the modules into your AutoCAD file. Okay, so I want to go again, let's go to our modules. And these will be in the final project module when it's available to you. But for now, I've put them in this week 7, so you've got access to them. It's the same stuff, but for some reason, I don't know why, but it was locking me out of giving you guys access to a couple of these, so I just had to make a new one. And then it was like, oh, would you like to publish this? I was like, you kept giving me errors earlier today when I tried to publish it. So what do you want me to do? Okay. So let's go ahead. What other blocks would you like to bring in? What interests you? Kitchens, doors, sofas,
Kitchens.
Chairs.
kitchens?
Hmm.
That's what I heard first. Let's go and look at kitchens again. So we're just going to go ahead and click on this file. It will open up in another window. We can just click on it once again to download it, and it will come right here into our downloads. You can go to your file explorer and show it right there, kitchen blocks. Again, double click this and it will open in a new tab in the same session of AutoCAD. And this one has a bunch of kitchen sinks. I've got refrigerators. I've got, looks like some appliances, some ovens, dishwashers, stovetops, right? Ranges.
And Graham, you said we're eventually going to be using probably all of these pieces for our final project. So bring them all into the page we've created
Ultimately,
tonight.
ultimately we will be. Yep. Bring them
Okay.
in one at a time. The biggest thing I want you to check for is to make sure that when you're copying the next one in, that it doesn't lose its reference to this kitchen blocks file and try to make them bathroom blocks. So we're just going to go through that together to make sure it all works as intended. Because they all come from the same original reference file, so it tries to reference a different version of that block once you put it on, once you copy it in. So I'm hoping that by dividing them out into different files and then bringing them back in, we can do this in a systematic way that doesn't overwrite them. So I'm going to go ahead again, left click and select everything. Now, if you wanted to just select one, that's fine. The problem is you're going to be constantly coming back to these kitchen blocks or these bathroom blocks or, whatever block it is to try to find the one you want. If you just load them all into your project, then they're going to be here. We're going to make a little library essentially that you can just browse through and quickly see them here. You can also see them in your block palette once you bring them all in. Okay. So I'm going to select all these, use my Control C. So it's copying them to clipboard. I'm going to go back to the week 7 class and use my Control V. Now, as soon as I hit Control V, it's going to appear on my screen, but it's not going to place it until I actually click. So if I hit Control V, you see that it wants to bring them in, but it's not going to place it until I actually give it a click. So, and you might see some of this stuff wants to move on you. It doesn't need to be there. You can click on it and delete it, right? These outside title blocks, they're not necessary for you. They were just what came in and it helped keep things organized at the beginning. Originally, all of these were in a block, but I've copied I don't even know how many files together to try to create this conglomerate. So, but anyhow, these title blocks are just what's left over from bringing them in. So, and they also told you what they were, right? This said WC, this other one down here before I deleted it, it said kitchen on it, or it says, that one says sinks bathroom. So that's the problem is this title block, when I bring it back in, even though it said, let's see, what does it say here? See, look at this. So when I copied it, I brought it from here and it says kitchen sinks, right? Well, when I copied all this in and pasted it, it changed that kitchen sinks title block, and it now says sinks bathroom, and it doesn't align with where it came from. So it's all having to do with what reference file it came from. So again, it's not important. You can go ahead and just click it and delete it. It's not important at all. If you want to put some text in here that says, you know, that these are my kitchen sinks, I don't know, you could do that, right? Kitchen sinks, kitchen skins, kitchen sinks. Okay, so you could put some text in there if it helps you identify it. I don't care what your library looks like, if it's all nice and neat and tight, or if you've got them all over the place. I could care less, as long as you know where your blocks live. So let's go ahead and do one more. We did kitchen blocks. We've done bathroom blocks. Let's go ahead and do this sofa blocks. So if we go ahead and click this download again, it will download. Again, I like to just show it in the Finder, or you can just click that open button and select what I want. Now, if you didn't want to select that title block from the beginning, you could select everything, hold shift, and then come click that title block, and it would actually deselect it. If it's annoying to you, again, I don't really care about it. It's part of working in AutoCAD is dealing with X references. So it's something that you just kind of get used to if you deal with them on a daily basis. But if it annoys you, by all means, you can delete it. So again, we're going to use our Control-C command to copy. Go back to here, and I'll go ahead and paste these a little farther down. Now, again, same thing. When I pasted it, this one, it came from something that said sofa blocks. And when it pasted in, it referenced a different file, and it says sinks bathroom, but it placed it in a completely different spot. So AutoCAD works like that at times. Again, delete it and move on with your life. Don't let it get you bogged down, because that's what it does. Yes. Okay, so do you see it here? So if you go to your bathroom blocks, you so you just need to double click that file. Click here. Hit Control-C, and then go back to the Elite 7 drawing. Put this back here. Now hit Control-V. Now put them on the default. Go ahead and do that with the other few files as well. We'll move up and then just copy them over. Is there anyone that's having issues opening up your downloaded block files or bringing them over and copying them from their original block file into your week 7 file?
No.
Okay. So once you've got 3 of them in there, if you want to do the rest of them, that's fine. What I'd like to do is spend some time, and I put all these on the dimension work set by accident, or dimension layer. That's where I was. Let's go ahead. If I build a layer, we can just put them on I'm just going to move them all to, let's make a new layer for them. And I'll just call it, I think I've got one called, I've got a title block layer. I'm just going to rename my title block layer. Just put them on your title block layer, but you could rename that if you wanted and just call it blocks.
For some reason, when I copied them in, it just made a layer named www.cad-blocks.net.
Oh, it did make one. Look at that. So are they already on? I wonder if they're already on that, because that's the layer they came from in their original file. So it must have kept their original layer. Let's
So
see.
what
When I click
that
on,
appears to do is it appears that the box that we deleted,
what?
that layer appears to be the box that we deleted, the CAD, the one that was kind of off center.
It should be anything that we brought in. Or is it everything else on 0? Huh.
I'm seeing everything else is on 0.
It looks like everything else is on 0. Okay, so maybe it's just that title block got put on that layer. And again, it's going to come in with the layer that it came from. So if I come back here and I look at this, look at the layer that it came from. www.cadblocks.net was the layer it came from, right? And the rest of these were all on layer 0, right? So perfect. So that's a good thing. So what that means is when you can leave them there if you want. That's fine. What I want to do is I want to turn off my dimensions layer, which is going to hide all my dimensions and my annotations on here. So when I turn off, what's off this? Now I've got a blank workspace. And now I can use my actual copy command because I'm within. And let's go ahead and close that. And I'll turn my ortho off. And now I'm going to start, making a bathroom here. Okay.
Are we there? But there's no like wrong way of just doing Control C with them, right? Like selecting the unit we want and doing Control C.
You can do that. You can do that with these. You can do Control C, Control V. Yeah, that's not an issue. You just can't copy from a base point, which it doesn't have, right? You're not trying to copy from a specific corner of a wall because they're all individual as they are. So you can use Control C, Control V all you want. If you had something like, let's say that both of these were bathrooms, for instance, and you knew that you wanted this the exact same distance from that corner, right? So now if I want to copy something with a base point, I would use my copy command and copy with this base point from here to, let's pretend this is the other bathroom. And now I can place that toilet in the exact location compared to where the walls are. So if you've got something placed already and you want to copy it, like maybe you've got cabinets that you want to copy down from one to the next, using that copy command, the actual copy COPY command allows you to grab that base point and paste it exactly where you want every time.
How about resizing it?
Resizing it, don't do it.
Don't resize it. Okay.
They're already to scale. They're exactly, that's what everything is drawn to scale. Now, if for some reason you get some hankering that you want more blocks and I didn't provide enough, and you want to go to this cadblocks.net, there are more options out there. I didn't get everything off this website. However, so let's go to cadblocks.net. Pull up some trees because I didn't grab you any vegetation. So if you come here and you can see, oh man, they've already got a bunch of these plants drawn up for me. And I click on this and I come here and I download and I click this download CAD blocks. And oh, I don't want to do that because that's an ad. And here's a zip file and I can open this up and extract. Yeah. Okay. So here's this other block. Now, one thing that is not shown right here, but if you look on their website, when you get this, you scroll. There's a spot on some of these that tells you exactly what the conversion rate is. So if I don't know why I'm not seeing, but it's like 0.000254 to an inch. And so I've taken these. Let's go in here. Let's see if I can. Somewhere it shows me. So, but that's what I'm saying. If you don't want to scale them and convert them exactly, I would just leave them alone. But it does tell you the conversion rate. I can't remember where I found it. Let's see if it's on more at cadblocks.net. But if I bring this in, I just copy this in. Right now, you'll see that the size, the scale, the Z. If I just hit Control C and bring this over, that's the size of the plant that's coming in. So everything is already to scale for what I'm providing you. So I don't see a reason you would need to scale it. If for some reason you want to do something that's, hey, maybe I want this kitchen sink to be a little bit bigger, you could draw that by hand if you wanted. We could use the scaling feature, but it's no longer to the scale that you're drawing, is what I'm getting at, right? These are all, if you measure the doorway, it's going to be 3 foot wide. It's going to be 30 inches. So these are like if you were to go out to Home Depot and buy appliances or buy fixtures. And they're scaled according to English standards, right? They come in just massive. Come in at like 100 meters. So let's go ahead and use the next 15, 20 minutes to build out either a bathroom or maybe start working on a little kitchen. Okay. Start using some of these blocks, right? So we could put in a toilet. I could come here, copy this. Now maybe it's the wrong direction. What would I do if I wanted to put this in this corner? Rotate it, right? Use my rotate command. Okay, so any of these, pick the base point, 90 degrees. There we go. And move it from this corner back to here. So now I got some little corner tub in here. And I can come over and let's grab a sink. Maybe I want something that looks like, I like that. And that orientation may not be right. So Use my rotate command. Oh, rotate. Give the base point, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees this way and move it to where I want it to go. So what I want you to do is start playing with some of these blocks, okay? Maybe get a sofa, maybe get a chair, okay? There's TVs, there's washers, dryers. I've got all types of blocks out there. There's profiles, okay? So today we're just working on our plan view. When in the next couple weeks, we will build a few more elevation views as well as interior section views. And then on those interior sections is where we can start to utilize some of this, these profile views of furniture, right? Or maybe a profile view of a refrigerator or a window or a washer, right? So if you were taking a section cut of it, which will go, a section cut essentially is an interior elevation for better terms. So we built the exterior elevations last week by drawing some construction lines and story poles. Interior elevations are basically the same thing, but we're depicting from the inside out instead of the outside in. But on an interior elevation, you would see any furniture that's between you and the wall, you would see that in a profile view, right? So, or a coffee table, right? So that's why I've got all these views over here that you can utilize when we come to you to do our interior sections. Let's go ahead, and if you are good with the process, you feel confident in bringing in more blocks, you can go ahead and just use what you have here. Again, there's stuff for hoods, for ranges, there's all types of blocks out there that I've provided. But if you want to, let's go ahead and go back to our Canvas site, and let's download another one and bring some more blocks in. If you have any questions about that or struggling at all with bringing those blocks in, now's the time to get comfortable with it. So again, we're going to go down. I'm going to bring in the door blocks. So I'll download this door block. And you can see that and instead of drawing all these door swings, now we can just drag them in, drop them in, place them, right? A lot of the work is done for you, at least all the tedious work is. Here's different doors, right? This is a swing, a dual swinging door, right? Probably something you would see in a commercial kitchen, right? Something that's going to swing both directions. So there's all types of options that are out here.
Awesome.
So again, if you're struggling at all with bringing blocks in, I've opened the door blocks in a new tab in the same session. I'm going to select all these blocks, use my Control-C command, and go back to the file that I want to put them in and use Control-V to paste them in. And now I've got all types of crazy cool doors.
Is there a reason we're specifically copy and pasting them in instead of importing them as a library?
Because I've got them because I didn't bring them into a giant file. You can, if you want to go through that process and bring them into a library, this is the easiest way that I've found for people to do it. But if you want to open a block library and try to bring them in that way, that's fine. The biggest thing is I had a bunch of different files, so people importing I tried to do it that way originally with all of them in one file and had issues. And last spring when I did it by importing, we had issues with our library as well. So that's why I've just gone through the copy method. It's ultimately the same. It gets the content into the same thing. But you can, if you want to go into the libraries, by all means, you can do that. The biggest thing about the libraries is the library is a reference file. So unless all your CAD blocks are in one file together, it's just a map essentially. It's just a link to there. So unless all those files are there together, it won't allow you to load them all. But copying them in allows you to bring that content into your project. And so maybe did we bring in? Let's see what we got here. Yeah, let's go ahead and so I'm going to take this area and start building a little kitchen. And if you didn't even want to copy them, if you just wanted to straight up use this, you could just take that and instead of copying it, you could straight move it. There's no, right or wrong way. The only thing about moving it is if you move this and you want to use it again, it no longer lives down here in your library, right? That's a blank spot. So, not saying that you necessarily need to, but that's the difference between copying or moving. You could just move them out of your, out of the blocks, and that's fine too. Here, right here. All right, I found it. So remember, this is where I told you it had a scaling factor. So I had to enter a scaling factor of 0.03937000787 and apply that in order to get these to convert to the blocks at the scale inches that we want. Okay, so if for some reason you want to go and you get a wild hair and you want to go to cadblocks.net and download some, there is this unit conversion that they have where you need to scale it with a factor of 0.03937000787. Okay, so that's what has been done to all the blocks that I have provided for you. So that's why they fit the size of the drawing that you're looking for. But everything comes in millimeters. So it comes in 25.4 times the size that it should be. Because of the way, because it's millimeters, but it's just in units. It's not in an actual measurement. So if we download this, if we look at this, it's interesting because if we look at the measurement, I think I've got one right here. The height of this, I mean, is almost 3,000 feet. 32 or 2,200 feet high just for this area right here. So it's all screwed up, essentially. But you got to scale it back and then it'll work right. So. Any questions? Having any issues copying a block around, moving it, rotating it, placing it? Yes, okay. Let's come. Oh, geez, did I lose? What happened? Do you guys still have my screen online?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're in here.
Okay. For some reason, I lost connectivity to the projector in the room. Okay. And you guys lost my screen, right?
Yes, we did.
You guys have a screen again, or do I need to share it?
Please share it.
Okay. So I don't know what's going on in here in the lab because they aren't seeing the screen. Did that kick you off again? It did.
It did. Yes.
I hate technology issues. All right, well, I'm just gonna leave it there, and the people in class, sorry that you don't have a screen. Yeah, that's. Oh, you can't. That's because that one would, so you would need to find a door that actually fit. That's a door, that's a probably 230. It's like 36. For me, 232. But you could come over here and probably find one. Yes.
When you click is where it's gonna start drawing. Right there, you right, you're right. Now click, and now you start typing.
All right, I'm back. Any questions? So at this point, I'm going to open it up to anything. If you want to sign off, go for it. So I will be posting a video. Next week, we will not have class. I've already marked everybody present for attendance. So you're already there and you're not there, right? So I will have a video posted. It will start explaining the final project. It will also give you, I will give you the write-up for the final project, essentially just the instructions. But at this point, you're going to be drawing a structure or a building or a dwelling of your choosing. Okay. So it's going to be something that maybe you're familiar with. Maybe it's your home. Maybe it's, a home that you want to build. Maybe it's a vacation home. Maybe it's something, maybe it's your office. I don't care what it is. It needs to be at least like 500 to 600 square feet at a minimum. Okay. There's no true size requirement, but anything smaller than that, it's hard for you to put in the detail that you need to get all the elements in there. But ultimately you've learned all the skills that we need at this point to be able to put together your final project. The last thing that we will do in the next coming weeks, so not next week, but the following, is work on some interior sections, another round of exterior elevations, and then we're going to be working on putting things on sheets. So, right, if I go to this architecture D and we see this white sheet, how do we get our drawings to show up here? So we'll be working on how to put the package together in the upcoming weeks as well. Okay, so nothing to stress about. I mean, I think the final project is due like 3 weeks from now. When's the last day of the quarter? Is it the 27th for us, or does it go all the way to December 4th? I got to go check my calendar.
December 13th, it says on my thing.
December 13th?
Yeah, when I looked at all the classes when a quarter ends, it said December 13th.
Okay, let's see. The last class that we have is December 4th.
Oh, okay. That's not what it says on my thing, but I believe you.
Well, that's what I have. That's what our last Zoom meeting is on December 4th.
Okay.
So that's when, final projects will be due in a month from now. You got 4 weeks. Okay.
Right.
So essentially to get going, it's drawing something that you care about, right? That means something to you. The more effort you put in, the more you'll get back out of it. Draw something that you can use down the line, maybe for your capstone project. Maybe you can use, maybe you could use it to help when you go to paint your house and you want to find out the square footage of walls. And now you've got something that's drawn up that says, hey, all these walls are, this is 17 feet here and this is 12 feet here. And, make it so you could actually utilize it later, right? If we just draw up a standard, 20 foot by 20 foot by, room, thank you, and throw some chairs and stuff in it, that's cool. It probably will pass for the assignment. Okay. But down the line, you're not going to get anything out of it. So if you want to get something out of it, I definitely try to do something that means something to you. And I assume that everyone lives in some type of a place, right? I hope. Whether it's an apartment or a 1-bedroom studio, or maybe you rent a room from somebody. Okay. Or maybe you own a house. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay. We're not trying to make this super complicated, but we are trying to present a product that I could ultimately take this and build from, right? It's got dimensions on it that shows where the windows are. I know how big the door is. I know, how big the layout of the walls are, right? So I'm not looking to build it, I'm not looking for framing, dimension framing drawings, but just an understanding of how this building is going to go together, right?
All right. Could you throw up your picture of like on the canvas or whatever? Could you just pull up your picture of what you did and your dimensions? So I didn't get all my dimensions in. I got everything transferred over as far as like all the little toilets and stuff. I already did that before class started, but I just didn't get all the dimensions put in because I'm not as fast as you, to be honest.
It's all good.
I
All
can
good,
do
all
what you're
good.
doing, just not as quickly as you can.
No worries. So you just want me to turn this back on? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, just leave it just like that. And then take a screenshot of it and post it on Canvas for me.
It
And
already
then,
is on Canvas. That's already there.
oh, this picture is?
Yeah, for the
Right.
most part. There's been some added dimensions, but that was posted at the beginning of class tonight, so you could reference it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Daniel, if you do a search on your toolbar for your snipping tool, you
Oh,
can
yeah. Okay, yeah, I could do that. I could
you
just
can do
snip
a
in.
screenshot of his yourself.
Yeah, I know how to do that. Um,
So, but it should be here, right here, week 7 in class assignment PNG, and that's got at least the beginnings of it, right? That we added some extra dimensions throughout the night.
okay.
Graham, is
Thank
this
you,
what
Ray.
you want to see tonight? Just a screenshot with everything on?
I'd like to see a screenshot with everything on, as well as some, basic toilet and or bathtub and or right one area that you've kind of populated a few of those blocks.
Okay. And then I was zoning out on couches when you were talking about next week's class.
Yes,
Can you go over that again? We're
we
not
will not be having there will not be class next week. I will post a video to Canvas that just goes a little bit farther in depth about I'll talk about the final project. I'll read through the instructions on it, and I'll make sure that you know where all the blocks are and everything and what you need to get going. I'll show you a basic example of what I'm looking for, right? So we'll go through it. Again, I'm not going to be, hey, you need to do exactly this. That's not what this is about. It's about you doing exactly one particular thing. It's about you taking what you've learned and applying it to a building or design of your choice, right? So I've had someone draw a sailboat before. They wanted to do it. Cool. Right on. And they drew different elevations and decks, and it turned out pretty cool. So it was a lot more work for them. I'll give it that. They put a lot of time to try to make it happen, but they were really adamant that they wanted to make this sailboat. So I said, go for it.
Awesome.
Same concepts apply though, right? Everything needs to be dimensioned. We need to know what we're looking at. Two basic parameters to go by that you're not going to, if you can answer those two things, your drawing is going to be pretty good, right? But I need to know what I'm looking at, how big it is, and I shouldn't have questions, right? If I'm looking at something, I got a question, address it, right? Let me know what room it is. If it's a bathroom, right? Let me know, where the dimension for that window is, right?
Are we meeting in 2 weeks?
We will meet in 2 weeks. Yes.
Okay. And when is tonight's assignment technically due for?
Whenever you want to turn it in.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Any questions before we sign off? I'll get tonight's video posted hopefully tonight. That's the goal. And then I should have a video up for the final. in the next few days. It'll be up definitely before next Tuesday, or sorry, next Wednesday. Is our class, so it'll probably be up by Monday next week. But I'll send out an email just letting you know it's up there, and you know, if there's any questions, please reach out. I'll be gone, but I will be trying to answer some emails and that kind of stuff. So I'll be looking out for stuff.
Hey Graham, real quick before we go, I just wanted to give you an update. So I did talk to the professor about the BIM course that we talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
last week.
Yeah, it was at 411,
It's 414.
414. Okay.
So there's no copyright issues. So I'm just waiting for her to formally reply with permission to forward that syllabus. So
Oh, awesome. Great. Yeah. And
so
I
I'm
had,
expecting that in the next week or so.
okay, cool. Well, yeah, just forward it my way when you can. And then hopefully
Yeah.
I can get a little bit more leverage on our side, because with this accreditation thing, it looks like there's a lot of things that might start the ball rolling and moving forward in the right direction, which has been a long time coming. So
Yeah,
if
it's a
that
good
can
sign.
happen, and we can start, looking at our continuous improvement and how we're actually addressing what the needs are of the current industry, I mean, there's so much power
Big
to
step
it.
forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Cool. And I think it's also a good opportunity, maybe to sort of make that introduction, so that if you have other, programmatic questions, professor
absolutely.
might be a resource for you.
Absolutely. I'd love to be in contact with them. So, just to pick their brain a little bit and, whatever. But, yeah, well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Everybody, have a good night.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you all again. You'll be hearing from me within the next week. But again, there's no class next Wednesday night, the 13th. We will be meeting on the 20th, the 27th, and the 4th. Okay. So no class the 13th. We'll be back 20th, 27th, and then the final will be due the 4th. So that's 28 days from now. And I'll go ahead and get that posted up as soon as I can. I'll probably get the document posted tonight, actually, in the week 7 module. I'll go ahead and put that final project document in there so you can start looking at it. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.